way that you could go about it. And I'll preface by saying, there's a lot of ways to win. And I think earlier in my career, I was successful with my way, and then I, for a moment, thought that that was the only way. But
Mhm.
when I got into the seat of being an investor, and I saw damn near 1,000 deals in per year for a couple of years, um, you start seeing that there's a lot of ways in which someone could be successful. And a lot of it has to do with backing into what the specific founder is well equipped to handle. And so in your
Mhm.
case, you have that going for you where you have a tremendous breadth and also depth of experience. So when it comes to launching this entity, you are going to greatly benefit from having a real specific initial angle, in my
Mhm.
opinion. So one thing that I see new founders try to do is, because they can do a lot, right? Can,
Mhm.
meaning have the ability to, you
Right.
because you have the ability to do a lot, you naturally want your entity and your organization to do a lot. But then what
Mhm.
happens is you end up not occupying a distinct place in anyone's mind,
Correct.
because you're kind of a little bit of this, a little bit of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. A hodgepodge.
And so, correct. And while
Mhm.
that could work and does work, I've seen people do that. I think based on the following based on the following reasons, that you would benefit more from having a specific focus. The reasons are: one, startups by their very nature are strapped on resources, right?
Mhm.
So you have limited budget, you got limited time to make it work. Um, and there's only so much bandwidth that you as an individual, or whomever is going, plus whomever is going to be helping you, which, for me, I started solo person for a long time.
Mhm.
And if you have help, it's like part-time or whatever. So because you stack those limitations on top, it's like limited bandwidth, limited time, limited resources. Those are three things that actually work in your favor if you can
Mhm.
design the way you enter the market to work in your favor. For instance,
Okay.
if you design it such that you take the three limitations and then you're trying to cover a really broad area, it's tough, because then you're being spread super thin. Your capabilities won't be there. Your follow through
Mhm.
won't be there. Your messaging is scattered. And so, remember, occupy a place, right? Is versus trying to occupy all places.
Okay.
So with that said, I would be looking for, and some of this you'll have in your gut as a sixth sense because you've done this for so long already.
Mhm.
Y- But some of it you'll have to just juxtapose with against, just actual experiments in the market. But right now you need to get in where you fit in. Okay.
Mhm.
But you mentioned ministry a couple times. So if I may run with that example. Okay. So let's
Mhm.
just take ministry, for example. Let's say Camille R. Perry is gonna be, you know, the ministry focused consultation firm.
Mhm.
You can design, the content from end to end, the curriculum design. You can help them find the right speakers. You can, right. So now what you've done immediately
Mhm.
is, okay, yeah, Camilla Perry, she does that. Just
Okay.
like when people say, "Oh yeah, John Henry, oh yeah, he's that guy that, and now he's doing, right?" Like you need
Mhm.
to occupy that same. Oh yeah, Camilla Perry. Oh yeah. We know exactly. Yep, she does the church stuff, right? Ministry. Oh yeah, exactly. And now you're in a niche,
Yeah.
and that's going to allow you to hone. And I'm not saying you go with ministry, although I happen to think it's a great niche, but I'm
Mhm.
saying it'll be up to you to choose. Okay, maybe you start an education with like private charter schools, or maybe you start ministry,
Mhm.
or wherever your gut tells you, because you have enough experience to navigate. But what I'm saying is, when you hone that niche, that's when being limited on resources, time, and bandwidth really starts to work in your favor, because now you have smaller, easier to cover territory.
Yeah.
You can dominate that territory. It's hard to dominate consulting as a whole because it's so broad, but you can dominate ministry consulting,
Yeah.
right? You can hone your messaging so that when you go to your website, it says specializing in.
Okay.
Yeah, I want you to be a specializing in. I want your customers to feel like you made this service just for them.
Okay.
I want them to feel like, oh shit, I've been waiting for this my whole life. You know what
Yes.
I mean?
Mhm.
And I want you to, so now let's continue exploiting the ways that we can fully take advantage of you being in a niche. You have a way with words. I want you to be up on the phone with the ring light that you have in front of you, illuminating
Mhm.
you, saying,
Mhm.
"Hey, guys, Camilla R. Perry here. You know, your minute, the ministry consultant. And today,
Okay.
let's break it down a little bit. What is ministry consultant? And I want you to create an episodic series, what we call a pillar series, that you can do once a week, right from your phone, right on Instagram Live, or you can even record not live and then just upload on IGTV like
Mhm.
I do sometimes as well. Just super simple, no frill. And but the thing is, I want you to start introducing into the market. Like you can't pick up what you don't put down. So
Mhm.
if I don't put this on the table, I can't pick it
Mhm.
up.
Right.
So it works a little bit more evidently when it's physical, right? It's like faith.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah.
faith can be hard to for people to wrap their minds around because it's not physical,
Right.
right? So I want you to treat the digital like you would the physical, right? You people can only shake your hand if you extend it out. So I need you to extend your hand. I
Okay.
need you to say, "Hey, it's Camille R. Perry here," and you're introducing to the market via repetition. And by the way, don't be
Mhm.
afraid of repetition because all these online platforms only show your content organically to but a fraction of your audience anyway.
Okay.
So you'll get tired of the message way before your audience does.
Okay, because I was like, do I keep replaying? Okay.
Every week you touch on a new area of just to run with the example, right?
Mhm.
Ministry consulting. This week. So what makes an effective sermon anyway? Well, bum. And then you know what? On this
Mhm.
week's episode, we're actually speaking with a pastor that I greatly admire. Welcome, pastor, and you have a conversation with them. And
Mhm.
so now it turns into, you some episodes you're just spewing kind of your thoughts on it on the
Yeah.
ministry. Other episodes you're inviting pastors to jump in with you, and you're
Okay.
bringing their audience to you. And so now you're using content as a Trojan horse where you're meeting all these people, but it's not, hey, I want to consult for you. It's, hey, listen, I have a platform where we talk all about the ministry and th- like the great thing is I haven't heard anyone talk about the construction of, sermons and ministry and people
Mhm.
talk about the gospel, but people don't talk about kind of the behind the scenes of developing the
Yeah.
curriculum design of the church. So
Yeah.
now, just to continue on with this example, because it happens to be a great one. Now Camille R. Perry starts being known for something.
Yeah.
And when you occupy a place, I want you to be top 5, right? So when people are around the table saying, "You know what? We need to refresh our thing." "Oh, well, you gotta use Camilla Perry." "Oh,
Mhm.
who?" "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, she's great." "Oh, you haven't heard it?" "No, I haven't heard." "Well, check out her Instagram or check out her LinkedIn or, what
Okay.
check out her podcast." They
Okay.
listen, "Oh, shit. Damn, she's good." And
Yeah.
then they call you in. So there's other ways. Look, you can run ads and stuff like that, but the reason I don't like ads is because the moment you stop spending, it goes away.
Yes.
And also you got to spend. So it takes money and it
Mhm.
and ads don't work unless you have a prolonged and sustained advertising
Mhm.
strategy. That's when the
Right.
numbers start increasing for you. But but organic is there for good. You own it.
True.
You own the video, you own the content, you own the podcast. And the look, the reality of the matter too is you happen to be good at this.
Mhm.
You have a way with words. I have a way with words.
Yeah.
Imagine if I wasn't, you know, really truly leveraging the potential, the ability that I have to speak and communicate effectively. People like hearing it, and I got a little podcast mic. I got a little pocket. This mic costs $400. You don't have to start with this one, but
Okay.
this is the universal radio mic. But
Okay.
there's other mics. I have a bunch of them. I don't know if you can see them behind me, but you start with whatever mic makes sense. You can start with your phone, but
Okay.
because you have a nice voice and because you have a way with words, audio would be really nice for you, especially if
Okay.
you compare the two. You do a lot. I did this thing yesterday that I tried for the first time where I just used my camera phone to record, but I was speaking into the mic, and then
Mhm.
I paired it so that it's just simple camera phone, and I also have a ring light, by the way.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
I'm
thing.
like, Amazon.
Yep, Amazon. I think I bought this one on Best Buy. It's already half
Mhm.
broken. It's just like it doesn't even stand up straight. Right.
Yeah, mine
And
either.
it's been great, right? So,
Mhm.
like, so in terms of the material goods that you'll need to get started, it's minimal.
Okay.
You can get a mic if you want, you don't have to. But what you do have to do
I have a
is
snowball, one of these.
oh, perfect, great,
Yeah, this I've
good.
had this one for years when I was doing audio recording for some of the digital content that I would make for like
Oh,
animated cartoon series for my different customers.
mhm,
Even for the church, I was doing digital announcements using cartoon avatars and
I love it.
um, bringing in some of the young people, the younger, like the 5 to 8 year olds, to actually record the announcements, and their parents. I mean, parents started coming more to the church during announce just so they could hear their kid announce.
Mm.
It's like my kid's getting an award. You know.
So that kinda stuff, I want you to tell a story about it. "Hey, let me tell you guys about this thing," and if you stay in touch with the church, do you know,
Oh
give
yeah,
her
it's the
yeah.
church. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you attend. Okay, great.
yeah.
Well, then
Mhm,
alright, so now that I've discussed, how we use content to kinda lever and kind of force your way into a sector, let's now talk about, this content already have. Lighthouse customer is a customer that you charge little to nothing that ends up being kind of your beacon for other potential customers. And in your case, you've already done some of this work. So,
mhm,
you know, I want you to invest into leveraging the fact that you've already worked with them, right? So turn it into a little pitch deck, a little slide. That's
mhm,
what I do with all my clients.
mhm,
Um, I'll make a little slideshow presentation. Like every time I work with a brand, I'll turn it into a case study. I worked with Cadillac. I did X amount of impressions. We landed at bum bum bum, three, 4, 5 slides. Really nice visual, minimal, just like really. So, as a consultant, you'll need to be equipped with sales tools, which is the pitch deck for you to really do your thing. So I want you to take those prior successes, package them, talk about them, share with them. And that's the nature that you'll see, by the way, of being the self-employed type of person is
mhm.
ain't no one going to be doing your hunting for you,
Right,
you know?
right,
So now
right.
you're entering into a world where right now you're in a structured environment that kind of hands you the leads, but they,
Mhm,
they hand you the leads because they have a department where they're banging on phones, or maybe they already have the brand, and so people just come to them, and so they can hand hand it off to you. But now what you'll have to step into is, the reality that you'll have to source your leads.
okay.
And so all of this that we just talked about serves really just the purpose of, hey, you're broadcasting. You're
Mm,
admitting to the universe that you do this. And the more you share your story, it's just like Jesus. Like, imagine if Jesus Christ wouldn't have spread the gospel.
right. Be a dark day.
He would,
Mhm,
he would have lived his entire human form life
mhm.
holding the gospel near and dear. You got the
Right,
gospel in you. You got
right.
to, you got to share. And what Jesus did was hard work. He was,
Yeah.
we had no cars, we had no social media. He was going around, pounding
On
on
foot.
doors, yeah, congregating people in the public. And so there, wow, I never thought about it. Maybe Jesus is the ultimate entrepreneur.
But it's actually funny that you say that, because I tell stories oftentimes to some of my friends on FaceTime, and I was given an analogy. I said, when Jesus worked his first miracle and I'll probably use this as my post, but Jesus worked his first miracle at the ceremony, the wedding ceremony, and I said he's like the first one to ever be like, when his parents say, "Hey, come on, man, show him what you can do." You know what I mean? Like, growing up, oh, show auntie and uncle that you can dance, and
Uh-huh,
he's the
uh-huh,
first one to have to get up there and be like, "Okay, let me show you how I can make this happen." And
uh-huh.
so I was using that as because one of the things that, and like, I've written plays, and I've starred in them. Like, I'm very multifaceted. Like, I'm kicking off this women's conference. This will be my second one that I'm doing, but because of COVID, I have to do it on Zoom. And so I've already invested in like getting all these things, and I know you got to go with others. So I just I have so much where what I'm taking away that I'm going to start using as my tagline, the ministry consultant, because out of all the words that I came up with, never came up with those series of words. And I was
Mm,
like, let me check
let's
to see.
go.
Let me check to see if I can use that, because and then I want to I have these webisodes that I'm getting ready to launch this week called Be Healed, which is the ministry
Love it.
title that I work under for the ministry that God gave me. So my women's conferences are Be Healed, and so this conference is Be Healed and Ready to Fight. So my Be Healed webisodes, I'm inviting other guests to come on and share more like a therapeutic type approach. But to your point about bringing others in for the ministry consultant, I'm now seeing like a different backdrop. So I feel like for so long, I felt like I had to be in only one realm, that
Mhm.
I had to, if I was doing content, it had to be this content only. If I'm doing podcasts, I can only podcast this. And I've been watching all different general digital and Kev on stage and different ones. I'm like, they have multiplicities of
Mhm.
podcasts, but it all has the same theme. So
Exactly.
now
There
I
you
see
go.
that I can
There
have
you go. You can
multiple
have
with the same thing.
yep, you can have a multi-platform, multi-tentacled, multi-tiered approach. But what makes it make sense in people's mind and what takes it from disjointed to cohesive is that overlying theme that you educate and you bring to the market. So I'm very excited for you. Um, I think we nailed it on this session. I think we really got something here. And I think that by you having the specificity to focus your energy in on,
Yeah.
you will, God willing, by through admitting that, it will come back to you. Hey, sis, I hear you do some of this. I would love for you to help me. Um,
Yes.
and then you take them through the process, which you know better than me, which is, already the pricing model and how to approach curriculum, and you know how
Mm-mm,
to provide.
well, pricing model, I struggle. I know you got to go, but if you have any tips that you can
Here's my
maybe,
tip. Here's my tip. Get a big fish. Try and get a big brand, a big church,
okay,
and do them. Try to do them for free while you have the 60 days. You just need them to be the lighthouse customer. You
okay,
just need one customer that is raving about how great you were, let's say, that you do such a good job that they set you up. No one else has to know you did them for free. Do Only do it for free if it's a brand worth doing for free. You know what I mean? Because the people
okay.
that usually want free work are ones that, it's the brands that, they turn free work away.
Mm-hmm,
Try and get one of those big churches that say, big names. You work with them, even if it's on a small project for free. Get in for free. Use pricing as a lever. And then once you're in there, then you package them how I talked about. You turn it into a little case study. And then the next time you can flip that and you can take that same case study, share it with the world. Hey, look what we did with this church. Other churches will want to work with you. And then from
mm-hmm,
there, you say, hey, look, well, this is the price. And then the reality is you'll have to experiment with the pricing.
okay,
You'll have to pick up the phone and speak to a few people that do this and have done this, and maybe from your past organization, and get a feel for what the pricing is like. And you can still use pricing as a lever. You can undercut them. You can come a little bit cheaper,
mm-hmm,
um, and start building your portfolio of clients that way. Okay.
okay,
I'm really
perfect.
excited for you. I want you to tag me when you create the show, when you share it, and I will share it occasionally as well to help boost your profile. But
Thank
this is this is great. This is really honed. This is the kind of stuff that I walk away feeling really good about, because I think you really have room to gallop here. So,
Yeah, I'm
um,
actually going to update my tagline on my Instagram now.
all
So
right, I love it. Thank you so much. I hope this is
thank you.
helpful, and
Yes, you
feel free to hit me up anytime. I don't want it to be transactional. Okay, you can email me anytime.
are. Okay, thank you so much. All
Bye
right,
for
bye
now.
bye.